Hello there, this is Sandra Pelly, the Sandini, inner peace mentor, galactic shaman, as well as the visionary of the Guide Academy. I am so excited that you're here to listen to this incredible podcast, Step into Your Light, Step into Your Life. It truly is exactly what the title says it is. When you are ready to step into the light, meaning the light for yourself, when you're ready to see yourself and shine your light, we're here to show you the way. I am very, very excited to have this beautiful, incredible guest, Heather Leigh, with me. And I'm going to bring her on right now, and then I'll give you her bio and what have you. Hi, Heather Leigh.
Hi.
So happy that you're here.
I am delighted to be here, Sandra. I can't wait to have a chat with you.
Beautiful. And thank you, everybody, for your patience right off the bat. We have discovered that StreamYard, and I'll cut this part out when I put it in the podcast per se, but there'll be a little bit of a delay between Heather answering me and my conversation because she is aware that I actually have to mute myself so we don't have this horrible feedback. And thank you so much for your patience with that. So before I go any further, welcome to the Step into the Light, Step into Your Life, a beautiful podcast that is all about people who have really taken their existence to a whole new level. Like, and instead of having the normal life, it's taking this divine guidance that's come in really and really grasped a hold of it and ran with it. And so this is why I've discovered, or why Heather Leigh has shown up in my hemisphere, is because of her book, Canine Spirit Guides. So let me first of all tell you a little bit about her. Heather Leigh has journeyed with dogs her whole life as a dog trainer and competitor, breeder, and rehabilitator, but she never realized they were her purpose in life until she wrote her book. She had always struggled to find herself and her place in this world. She felt impossibly wedged between the rigid 3D science reality that regulated her physical therapy practice and her scary spiritual side itching to come out. All that changed once she connected to the intergalactic canine guides. They quickly healed her deeply and completely, opened her channel, and revealed her true destiny. After 30 years of practicing physical medicine, she is now fully embracing her spiritual skills and bringing the healing abilities of the canine spirit guides to the world. And I am in such awe of that. Like, you're just such in total alignment with like so much of what I do. So tell us a little bit more about yourself if you like. I know you had a couple questions that you sent to me, and but I'd like to just maybe hear your voice first and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have been on quite a journey and I'm very excited to be where I'm at right now. Until I got to this point, I did not want to be here. Probably like a lot of you listening to this call, I was like, what's the point? I don't like being here. I don't like what I see. I don't like what I feel. I don't like what I hear. And I didn't like myself. So until I was awakened to my purpose, until I was healed, I wasn't able to see any of the beauty in the world. All I saw was the ugly stuff, the negativity, the things that brought me down. And now that I've been healed, I'm actually excited to be here.
I love that. So I know I've started to read the book, and I've read a good portion of the first part of it, where you start to speak about your experience and how you started that transition into this. So, can you maybe tell us a little bit about what this book is about?
Well, this book has many dimensions to it. It is a book about dogs, of course. It's in the name of the title. It's in the title, Canine Spirit Guides. But it goes so much deeper than that. And that surprised me because I did not understand fully where this project was going when I started it. And so I started writing my stories about dogs in my life. The book is about 10 of my dogs. I've had probably around 30 of dogs in my life that I really bonded with and connected with. And the guides picked 10 of those dogs. And through these stories about my dogs, they really illustrate the unique bond that dogs serve and with humanity in our lives, and how unique this animal is and its bond to us, that we bond so deeply with dogs and we share our heart fully with them. So it kind of exemplifies that concept, but it goes deeper and introduces the concept of the intergalactic spirit guides that are working with us through our dogs. So these are not the spirit of our individual dogs, it's a collective of intergalactic beings that wish to help humanity heal and grow. And it also demonstrates the insidious impact that our dogs have on our lives that we're not even aware of. They're much more in tune with what's going on. They're much more in tune with our soul path and our journey. And they actually have a lot more to do with events in our life, opportunities that come up, healings that we need to go through, and connections that we need to make along our path. They are actually helping instigate a lot of this. And that's one thing that the book demonstrates. And then it also gives concrete examples of how the guides work, how they support us, how they provide answers for us and opportunities. And above all, it gives an example of the level of healing that they have to offer us. So that's very exciting. It's all new information. It was all new to me, and I haven't found anybody that went, "Oh yeah, I already know that." So the whole concept of the book was not evident until after I put the whole thing together, sat down with it. It kind of sat in the energy of the book, and then the guides just downloaded the whole concept, and I went, whoa. It absolutely blew me away. So that, in a nutshell, is what the book is about.
I love that. As I said, I've read a portion of the book so far, and really, um, I love what you bring forth in the book. And if I may, I just want to read a little portion here that I got set aside now. Uh, the way that this appears to work is that the things that we're experiencing in our life, the triggers, and I love this because you use the word tags. And if it's okay with you, may I read that little portion about what you wrote tags are in the okay, beautiful. I'm just flipping through my pages here. So tags are beacons or flares in your energy field that attract lessons you need to learn to heal your soul. Once the lessons are learned, that part of your soul is complete and the tag is removed. These learning experiences will no longer be drawn to you. And that is so present in the portion of the book that I read. And in fact, you actually speak about it at the end of the chapter as well. So,
Mhm.
with that in mind, uh, can you provide us with an example of your points around this by reading about one of your guides?
Yeah, so
Yeah, so
the first two guides use tags, and that's their term. That's not something I came up with. They use tags to help us. So they are drawn to the tags that we have attracted. And depending on the tags that you have, will determine which guide is coming to you. So Anthea, which is the first guide in the book, see if I have a picture of her. This is this is Anthea here. She's beautiful. And she is very specifically focused on your ability to feel and express divine joy and self love. The problem is that we cannot fully experience these until the tags are removed, because what happens with the tags is that they form a filter or a block, or they take up space where those divine pieces of us would normally reside. So, joy, we can't fully experience joy if we have a tag blocking it. We can't fully experience our self-love, if we don't unblock it. So the guides, Anthea, this is her mission. She comes in and with my clients, she'll come in and she'll tell me exactly what tags they have that need to be addressed, healed, and removed. And that way, your divine source energy can fully come in and you can fully experience divine joy and divine love. And to give you some examples, the tags that are very popular with her, because um, a lot of people I work with require Anthea's help because we can't get to the next level until we heal the first level. So Anthea is the first level guide. So I work with her a lot in my practice with my clients, removing their tags so that they can connect with their divine self love and joy. And some of her tags are betrayal, persecution, self doubt, inadequacy, and fear of failure. Now, a lot of these are connected to each other. So I might see a number of varieties of that from any given person. But when Anthea appears in your life, that's what she's drawing your attention to, are those tags that need to be healed. So, do you want me to give an example, a story that's in the book of how that?
You know what? I just want to, before you give the example, maybe explain how Anthea shows up in a person's life.
Oh, that's a good question. So she can come to you through a dog. So one of your dogs may be carrying Anthea or access or giving you access to Anthea through that dog. Or some of the people I work with, actually, a lot of the people I work with don't even have dogs. So it's not necessary that you have a dog in order for this guide to provide the healing for you. So if your dog shows up in your life and you start to notice, they hope that you notice, that you're feeling persecuted, that you're feeling unloved, that you're feeling judged by other people, that's a reflection of your own tag that's drawing that energy to you so that you can see it. So that's not necessarily a reflection of other people being judgmental or persecuting you, or doubting you. That means that you are doing that to yourself. Anthea is showing it to you. Those experiences are coming into your life while she's either with you, or if you don't have a dog, they'll find a practitioner like myself for you to experience that with and identify it. And then the guide will come in, and as long as you give consent, they will help you heal that.
Love it. I'm so glad I asked that question. Yes, please share part of the book.
So in the Anthea's section, there's a dog called Katori. She's one of my very favorite heart dogs. And when I was competing with her, because I used to compete multiple dog sports, she was an incredible competitor. And what ended up happening was we would win everything. And also because we worked our tail off to be good at what we did. And she was an incredible teammate. She memorized everything I gave her and she perfected it. So what happened was we would win any competition we showed up for. And instead of people coming up to me and saying, "Wow, that was an incredible performance. How on earth did you do that? How can I learn to do that?" Instead of getting that kind of response, I got the backstabbing, I got the people talking about me on the sidelines that I would hear in the video recording of my performance. I got people attacking me on social media. Um, I I just got an onslaught of negativity. Well, I couldn't love myself. So I couldn't appreciate myself. And so that's not the energy I was sharing. what was coming up was the energy that I felt about myself. That's what I was bringing to myself. And that's what Anthea, that's what my dog Katori was drawing to me through that experience to try and show it to me. She was begging me to address it while she was there to help me do that. I didn't see it at the time, of course, because I didn't know any of this back then. This was back in 2000 something, so 2005, six. But but that's how they work. And so now that I know this, and part of the writing of the book process was them putting me through their healing program. Now I can see it. And now, if I ever have those feelings about other people or self-talk about a situation, I understand instinctively that it's me. It's something I need to look at. So I instantly go into that healing mode and I take care of it. But until it's fully healed, it will always come to you. It will always bother you. It will plague you. And it did. It plagued me my entire life, not just with the dog competitions, but also with cycling, also with my work. You know, it just constantly showed up. So they kind of offer us a cliff notes and a shortcut to getting the job done.
I love this. What I found so fascinating, first of all, the way you portray Katori in the book. Like, this dog is one of these exuberant, full of life, living to the max, loving life, loving even the dedication to the practice, to the tests, to the training, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then here is you, who is incapable of experiencing joy.
Yeah.
And this is why this chapter has really hit home for me, not necessarily because of this is my experience. And I love how you wrote in the back of that section. I shouldn't say chapter, it was a section, that if this isn't your experience, then that's okay. It you may relate more to one of the other canine spirit guides. However, I do have a client who I can just feel the energy of her in this section of the book. And you really, because of this, like, it's the trauma that encased you.
Yeah.
And Katori, in this whole process, has now empowered you to find joy, correct?
More than empowered me, she actually provided the healing to allow me to get there. So it's not a mindset, it's an actual energetic healing process.
You know what, I'm just so fascinated by this, because I've been with this client for some time now, and there are things about this that it's continual.
Mm-hmm.
And I come from an empowering space. So I love the energy of the healing that's going to happen with working with this team.
Yeah.
So powerful. Wow. Would you
Yeah.
like to say a little bit more about that?
About how powerful the healing is? Yes, there's so much I could say about that. I, uh, I've said this a lot, and I think people don't truly understand what I mean when I say that, when I say this, but maybe this audience would. The healing that they showed me and that they helped me with and provided me with was so instant. I've never experienced anything that powerful and that fast. I started writing the book in March. The book was finished by the end of September, and I had healed lifetimes of trauma, karma, ancestral patterns, and it's all in the book. All of this is in the book. All of that was healed so quickly, and it wasn't a process. It was please and thank you. And it was done. And I transformed so fast that I am not even the same person. Thank heavens my husband is like, okay with just about anything, because I am a completely different person than I was last March of 2022. And the thing that humans struggle with is that they have an expectation that things are hard, that things take time. I've I've had so many podcasts where they try and spin my words about and make it into a process, and it takes time, and I'm like, no, 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 that's not what I'm saying. The message of the guides is that that is not true. That's what humans think, but that is not true. And that's what they're so excited to share with us, is this frequency that allows us to access that instant healing, but we have to be willing to accept it. So if our ego says, "Oh, but it can't be that easy," then you're not going to get it that easy. You have to be willing to believe it and accept it. But it's absolutely mind boggling how fast this works. And my clients that I work with, they're all virtual and they feel it the same. No matter where they are, they can feel the healing move through them. And they're just stunned after the fact that they have felt everything I described to them, and they feel absolutely different. So,
So,
mm,
you know, you are in front of the right audience. Yay! I speak to my communities, and I'm very firm believer that it is the simplicity of things. And expectations are massively huge in the world. And so what you are saying is just such a beautiful confirmation to me and to my community, but also just, yeah, I can't even put into words how I feel right now because the hair on my arms is standing up. You're speaking my truth. You're speaking the truth in
yeah.
such a powerful, powerful way.
Mhm,
Wow.
mhm.
Um, One of the audience says, awesome. And I love that. Wow. Um, I'm kind of speechless right now. So I'm going to let you fill the space. I don't even know
Okay.
where to turn right now.
I would love to share with you guys a very, very powerful message that um, I do have a favorite guy. Don't tell anybody, but I do have a favorite. Um, Oregon. This is Oregon. She's on the cover, so she's my favorite. She's my true soul dog. This is Apache. This is who Oregon came through. You can probably tell by her picture how powerful she is. If I can, there we go. She's incredibly powerful soul. And she, we got separated earlier than we were supposed to, but she is also one of my personal spirit guides. So she has been hanging around ever since, of course. But through my journey, I just learned to meditate through this whole process. I was not a meditator, but I needed to learn to meditate so I could learn to channel. So I started meditating in February, and in May, I received a message from her in one of my meditations. It was a vision, and it was so powerful, but it exemplifies exactly what I was just sharing with you about the transformation, the process, how easy things are. And it was just such a perfect example. But I want to read it to you here real quick, and I hope I don't cry because I read it this morning and I was all in tears. Okay, so this is on page 169. If anybody has the book and they want to read it. I had a visit from Apache during my meditation on May 1st, 2022, and this is what happened. I saw a scared little puppy cowering in the corner. She was very sad and lonely. I did not recognize this puppy. I wondered who it was. The dogs were visiting me in my meditations, but I did not know who this one was. I turned my gaze a little to the right and saw a beautiful black panther pacing in the opposite corner. For a moment, I was enthralled in its presence and breathtaking beauty. As I returned my focus to the puppy, it suddenly transformed into a young woman. Wow. I gasped. My heart quickened. How beautiful she was. I looked back at the panther and I asked, "Who is this puppy that changed into a woman?" The panther never stopped moving, but she instantly transformed herself into my Apache right before my eyes. And then she said, "It is you." And I cried. Boy, did I cry. A wave of divine love, joy, and peace all washed over me simultaneously as I heard Apache's words. I began to weep as I realized the magnitude of the gift I had just received. It was a message from not just Apache, not just Oregon, but also from the divine. It was a confirmation of my purpose, my path, and my ability to deliver this message. Through this journey, I have transformed myself, been reborn without ever dying. The guides provided me with the tools I needed to morph from that scared little puppy or child into a beautiful, powerful woman that I never knew I was underneath. And that just rocked me to my core. One thing that's very significant about that message was it was the first time I realized that the guides were conjoined energies between the canine and animal spirit guides or animal spirits. So the Black Panther transitioning into my dog was a communication like, okay, we have a dog breed and we have the animal spirit that are conjoined in this entity. So that was a message also for me that that's how this was all going to work. So, and the thing that you will realize, Sandra, as you get into those chapters, that dog precisely demonstrated that very process, that transformation through her own experience. She was that terrified little puppy when she first started in this world. And she blossomed into this incredibly powerful, dominant, confident beast, and she was showing me my path that I was about to take and inviting me to do it with her. It was just beautiful.
I love that. It just feels so, it feels so right. It feels so magical. There's so much power in what this canine group is bringing in. The canine spirit guides, the galactic group, they work through dogs, they work through Heather. You have gone from being a dog trainer to completely changing your path.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
So, yeah. So, so like I said in the introduction, I've kind of gone from this scientific medical background, which I never really fit into. It was just the best thing that I could find at the moment. For 30 years, I practiced as a physical therapist, and now I'm completely transforming into the spiritual energetic medicine. So my practice is changing. And now I'm seeing virtual clients all over the world working with these canine spirit guides. And I do have special offerings for the audience. So I do want to make sure I mention those at the end. But um, my life has completely changed. And I'm still kind of getting used to the speed of it, the speed and the vibration, and I'm just, because I let go of the wheel a long time ago, I never know what's coming, what life's going to be like and about, and I just follow. I just follow the energy that they show me, the direction that they show me, and I just say, okay, let's go. So my practice is just evolving right in front of me, and the people that are coming to me, each case is so different. So each time I work with a client using the canine guides show me different things that they're capable of, different ways that they like to work with people. And sometimes they'll teach me new tags or new masks that they have identified within the person I'm working with. And I'm always thankful and grateful to receive the information, but I'm just blown away by how much they can do and how quick it is, of course, but I'm constantly learning from them, and I just love it. I've never been somebody who felt like I knew it all anyway. I just love to constantly learn, and they keep me on my toes. And I just listen. I just pay attention. I listen, and I do what I'm told. And this is how our sessions are directed. The canine guides direct the entire session, and I just I don't have words for it.
And that's fine. Not having words for it, it's because we are working with groups or realms and dimensions, that galactic dimension. That how do we put a human word to it, right? There are no human words for that. It's more an emotion, a frequency, a vibration, a feeling, right? A lot of these experiences, like I know for myself, I had a specific experience that I can relate to, and in fact, did repeat that type of experience 20 years later. And those were my traumas that kind of steered me in the direction that I am going still. And my thing is dragon energy, but I love this galactic canine energy. You have had a trauma as well that they came in and really helped you with?
Oh, the book is full of them. I have a lot of traumas, and it depended on the guide as far as what kind of trauma it was. So, anytime I had like a big spiritual upheaval or a massive transition coming in, it was Eric that would appear in the dog that I had. I've had him 3 times. He's a very powerful guide. He has, unlike the other guides, he actually has 3 names, which it took me a long time to understand. And then I had to learn to spell it, write it, and then pronounce it. But his name is Daman Yalaran Eric. And so thankfully I can refer to him as Eric. But he works with us and he offers us, well, he's the guardian of past life integration. So when things come up and it's necessary for us to understand past lives or to go back and integrate a learning in a past life or to heal the pain of a past life, then Eric will appear in our lives through our dogs or through a session. He will show up and say, it's time. This is your opportunity. If you are willing, this is what needs to be done. And so each time he came into my life, it was a very chaotic transitional period where I didn't know if I was going to survive. I was always in a survival mode when he appeared. And so each time I had a pretty significant medical issue that left me feeling like I didn't know what my future held. Like, will I ever heal from this? Will I ever be able to do what I value in life? I had no idea what my future held. And he was just holding me in that space because that is a doorway to another dimension for us to either walk through or turn our back on. And if we turn our back on it, it comes back. So if you're in a healing crisis and you have a disease or an illness and you turn your back on that opportunity, then it just comes back even worse. It comes back more intense because it's got to get your attention. It's got to get you to take action. And by taking no action, you're actually setting yourself backward. within your growth opportunity. So these guides will move mountains, especially Eric, to make sure you get the message. And the the last time, well, I have Eric with me currently. My, if you've ever seen my Gigi, my corgi, she's Eric. But the dog I had before her literally stopped time, absolutely stopped time. And I had to just sit because I was so sick. I had no choice. And the reason he did that was because it was so critical that all the moving pieces lined up just right so that I didn't miss my next connection. Had I not been sitting still, listening, paying attention, and so desperate for answers that I was listening, I would have missed it because I had to shift my entire life after I made this connection because it set off all of these events that led to this very moment. There would have been no dog stories if I hadn't have walked through that door. There would have been no dog experiences that showed me all of these mirrors if I hadn't have listened and taken advantage of the opportunity. So, yeah, each time the guides work differently. So Edic tends to create a lot of chaos to get you to get your attention quick and to get a deeply seated attention out of you. Some of the other guides are a little more gentle. Anthea is very gentle and she's very motherly and kind, and Oscar is the second guide in the book. He's the lion energy, so he's very reserved and quiet, but he's very loving and kind still. You just don't hear from him as much. He just kind of sits in the background and he waits. He just waits for you to be ready. He's not going to push. He's just going to wait, and he's going to hold your energy until you are capable of holding it on your own. Yeah, Oscar. Thank you. That's how you spell his name. And and then we have Oregon, which I read from, and she's very elegant. Her energy is very, very high, very refined, and her healing sessions are quite powerful. Just had one a couple weeks ago. Um, yeah, I can't remember what you asked me. I could just go on and on and on.
Okay, let me get a word in then. First of all, I love your telling us about the stopping of the time. I work very much with space rather than time. I would much rather be in the space of things because, and I've given examples where time maybe didn't necessarily stop, but it definitely shifted in a different manner. So I love that you're bringing that in as well. Another aspect of this is something that I'm not sure if I'm helping you expand out of the box or what, but when you talk about past lives, you're talking about human past lives. Is that correct? Have you had experience as of yet with galactic past lives?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For the major, yeah, and actually some of my clients that I've worked with, we've explored that too, because they'll tell them where they're from and what needs to be healed from that experience and why it brought them here.
Yeah, this conversation is just pumped. I'm loving it.
I could go in any direction. That's the thing with this book. It goes in so many, it opens so many doors, and they're not done yet. This is just the beginning. There's 50 guides. So there's going to be a lot more books that come out. So they're just whetting your appetite with this book. It's just the basics.
Yeah, this book, Canine Spirit Guides, has the first four that have been asked to that have asked, not they haven't been asked, but they have asked to be the start of this, to enlighten us human beings to the power of the possibilities that are out there. Wow. Yeah. How can people find you, Heather?
So
Heather Leigh.
I'm all over the internet. I will put in the chat here my webpage. Also, you can go to my offerings page for any of my specials that I'm running or any events that I'm having, because I do one-on-one sessions with my practice, but I also do group events where I bring in the guides for a group, and we have they share information, they share frequency, they share insight, and also healing with the group. So check out my calendar and see what's coming up for the next group event, because that's pretty exciting to be in a group, and it is virtual, so anybody can attend. And I do want to give away a book to one lucky listener. Doesn't matter if it's live or recorded. So if you go to my webpage, at the top of my webpage is an opportunity to um, enter to win a free copy of my book. If you're international, it'll be an ebook. If you're in the States, I can probably mail you a soft cover copy. And
And is that the correct web page, or is it the Canine Spirit Guides?
yeah, that's the correct one. And then I will also extend to you guys a special discount code for my services. And so just enter Sandini if you schedule yourself for any services or events. You'll get 15% off because you watched this podcast.
Yay!
We're so tech savvy.
Yeah, I'm flying over on this side with this hand. Wow, this has been just absolutely magical. You know, as soon as we are divinely guided. We truly are. You know, I was on LinkedIn, and I play around in there a little bit more than I have in the past. It's a different social media platform. It's more about the business side of things, I guess you could say, on one thing. But I recently discovered some spirituality type of groups in there, and you popped up in there with the cover of the canine. Can you hold up the cover once again, too? Just a beautiful, beautiful cover, and it piqued my interest. And then when we started to have conversations, the energy between you and I is just magical. Like, I can really feel how a lot of the things that you and I work around, the simplicity of that, the expectations, the instantaneous healings, all of these things we're in such incredible alignment with that. So I'm so glad that I reached out to you, and here we are. Any last words that you'd like to leave the audience with?
Trust that you are being cared for. There are so many tools available to humanity right now for healing, and there's a lot of magical tools that can do wonders for us that we don't even understand. And it doesn't have to make sense. Just trust that it's there for you, because there's a big healing movement going on right now. And the guides are part of that. But there are so many, like the dragons. I mean, there's so many opportunities for us to heal. So we're able to gravitate to something that speaks to us because we have so many different options. But yeah, trust. That's my one word I want to say.
That's beautiful. This will be available on sandrapelli.com/podcasts. You'll find it there. It'll also be available on Sandra Pelli, the Sandini YouTube channel. We would love for you to share this message out. Heather Leigh has this beautiful connection with this galactic team that are here and ready and want to be helping mankind. So spread the word, and reach out to Heather Leigh. She's got all kinds of opportunities for you. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Heather Leigh.
Thank you for having me.